We are coming in live. We're going to have plenty of pickle talk. Death match. Death pickle match. I don't know where I'm going.
Death pickle on a pole match.
No. Hello and welcome. Welcome below. This is Total Spotfest. That is Austin Reddick. I am JJ. That Jamie. Oh, shit. Something's wrong with Jamie's camera. Do you
Face
see
hard
that?
cam, brother.
Dude, he was literally just there, right? I'm not making this up, right, Austin?
He was.
Well,
wait.
He's
here, brother. I'm right here. Monet Mania is running wild, brother. Let me tell you something, angry JJ. You have no idea what you're in for. Monet Mania, 1,000 matches, brother. No one is better than her, brother.
I hate my life.
That's right.
On the cusp of the 4th of July, there are a few things more America than a good Hulk Hogan impersonation.
Right. The old Hulk Hogan. It's good. Oh, don't worry.
Who's impersonating, brother? Who's impersonating? It's Monet
Mania. Yes. We're not going down that rabbit hole for sure. But hello and welcome.
Just did the Macho Man hands though, and now
I
you're
did,
mixing
brother. I don't know what's going on.
He's somewhere between, 80s Hogan, Macho Man. It's a conglomeration of our childhood. Pretty soon he's going to start running around like the Ultimate Warrior, I'm pretty sure. He's got a snake in the house. He could whip it out and be Jake, I mean.
Whoa, brother.
not like that. But we do.
Like that, brother.
Hello and welcome to everybody out there. We appreciate you guys joining us. This is Total Spotfest. Hello to our wonderful moderator, Heather. It's great to see you here early. Squatch, I hope you're doing wonderful this evening. Everybody else, join the chat. If it's your first time here, hit that like button down below. Give us a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe, and you can hit the bell icon. Know when we go live. Find us on them internets at Total Spotfest. Are you boys ready for 4th of July? No, Austin and I were canting a little bit about excessive firework usage, which I believe Jamie falls solely into the pro on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, brother, I will say this. Beer and bombs. That's all I got to say, brother. That's all you need.
I was voice. He's gonna stay in character the whole time. It's gonna be.
He's gotta do it the whole time. You gotta stay committed to the bit. I'm all for beer and bombs, but on the 4th of July, maybe also the evening of the 3rd after dark. It's 10 o'clock on a Wednesday. Cut it out. That's all I'm saying.
You're too old, brother. You're too old.
See,
America doesn't sleep, brother.
I am too old. Pop them all weekend long. That's the designated time. But not during business days.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was a kid, when I was young, when I was in high school, in college too, like we would go ham, right? We would go ham on fireworks, just doing the dumbest stuff ever too. Roman candle wars, the whole 9 yards, right? Now I'm just like, that's a lot of money for not. Yeah, I don't. Nah.
Yeah, like we went all out as kids on the 4th of July. Like my mom would have beat my ass if I was out there popping fireworks at 10 p.m. on the 2nd of July.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta be considerate about your neighbors.
All right, so quick little thing here. Let's just before we get into wrestling here real fast, and people in chat can join in as well too. If you're outside of America, hey, welcome to our Independence Day. Bear with us for a moment. What's your favorite 4th of July event, memory, tradition? It could be one that you used to do when you were a kid, something you do currently. Like give me a good 4th of July kind of tradition you liked.
So
personally,
not really a tradition, but the first year we were living in Colorado, me and the wife drove up to a lake up in the mountains in southern Wyoming and camped for 4th of July for 3 days.
Oh, nice.
And that was the best 4th of July ever. Like we took the dogs out. We, being new to a mountainous region, we didn't realize the campsites book up real fast in advance. So I'm looking June 30th, maybe. I'm like, 4th of July's on a weekend. We got a long weekend. Let's go camping. I start looking everything in the state of Colorado is book. And I found some random, it was Hog Creek Lake State Park in southern Wyoming. And I was like, well, this isn't booked at all. So either we're going to die or no one's going to be there and it'll be great. And there was one other campsite that had people at it. And I mean, they were drinking beers, having a good time, but they quieted down at the nighttime hours. So yeah, it was an entire weekend of just chilling in the mountains next to a lake, drinking beers and reading. It was a good time.
That's awesome. Jamie?
Going back to 2005, brother.
Okay.
Sacramento, California. Me and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, brother, defeated Carlito and Kurt Angle. That's my greatest 4th of July moment. And also burying all the young talent.
All right. Well, on a serious note, mine was...
You asked for it, brother.
Oh, I was hoping to get that, maybe with the voice, but actually, Jamie. But hey, that's fine too. So you committed a bit. You're good. See, mine was. I mean, I've said I'm from Jeff City, right? That's where I grew up, and it's fine for the most part. Though it was whatever. I was very happy to move out of there after college. Let's be completely honest with that, right? But I always said there is one day of the year that I enjoyed living and being from Jeff City, and that's 4th of July. State Capitol, what they do is they block off the entire downtown, and they have a big street festival the whole day, right? So you got live bands, you got a beer tent set up right across from the Capitol there. All the bars and stuff, you can go in and out, all the shops. So you got a real nice little quaint downtown, right? Yeah. And pretty much everybody in mid-Missouri would go to Jeff City, so it was popping, right? And you had vendors and all this stuff and everything. And then when it comes time, literally, because you have the state capitol right by the river there, you just look up as the fireworks are going on straight over your head with the Capitol in the background. It is actually one of the single coolest day of the year to be, and probably the only day of the year to be in Jefferson City, Missouri. So cool.
Hell yeah.
So we had a
good time.
Oh, it was so much fun. Especially when I was old enough to drink. Oh my God. I do remember one year after the fireworks, we're walking back to my car and there was a loose bottle in the parking lot, and I kicked it like a place clicker and slashed my foot in 6 places. Yeah. That was fun. Yeah, Central Dairy. Yeah, my sister worked there when she was in high school, Heather. Fantastic ice cream. It's from 1904. They've been around. It's unbelievable. Okay. And again, those of you in chat.
The greatest intro song of all time, brother. Were they playing a Real American?
They actually did.
See,
right.
That's 100% was a part of the fireworks show. 100%.
Jamie, you had a good Hogan 4th of July memory, but I think the better one would have been the time on the giant battleship where no one could slam Yokozuna, and Hulk Hogan came down and gave Lex Luger the confidence he needed to slam the 5,000-pound Yokozuna for the Stars and the Stripes, brother.
Oh, so listen up, brother. I would have done that, but that means he got all the shine, and I don't want none of that. It's about Hulk Hogan, but not today. We're talking about the second generation of Hulk Hogan, the woman with 13-inch pythons, Mercedes Moné.
Well, do it. Let's dive right into it. In fact, let's start our Dynamite chat with the woman with 13-inch pythons. We had a single women's match on Dynamite. I know. A single women's match on Dynamite, and it was for the TBS Championship. Mina Shirakawa versus Mercedes Moné. Toni Storm sitting stoically not eating steak. I didn't enjoy that at all. She had a whole steak dinner there. I mean, she wasn't committed to the bit, or maybe she was. I don't know.
She was, brother.
I know what our esteemed guest's answer is going to be, but did you think for a second that Mina might actually take this title off her tonight?
I didn't think for a second. I hoped for a second, though. Like, yeah. Tony interfering and costing Mercedes the TBS title on the way to their AEW women's title match makes this story infinitely more interesting. It adds literally anything to this story that doesn't really exist. It's just, oh, Mercedes won the Owen, so they're going to wrestle it all in now, which is fine. But that was just me hoping. There was no way Mercedes was losing 2 weeks before All In.
Brother, you can wish in one hand, and you have Mercedes Moné in the other. But anyway, but if I could be serious for a second, brother, can we just talk about how she needs to change her finisher? It needs to be that Tomb Breaker. What is she calling that thing?
I have no idea. I don't think there's even is there a name for it?
Tomb Breaker, brother. That's a Jamie Hogan exclusive.
During that match, my wife said the exact same thing. She was like, "Why isn't that just her finish?"
It's a good looking move. It's a good looking move. I mean, yeah, the bank statement or the money statement, whatever she calls her submission move. It's fine. It's crossface. Okay. Cool, right? That's good. You can pull that out anytime. Fantastic, right? But the whole other one, the kind of the reverse flip thing, and I think that Ty Mello ran the same sort of issue with that, right? That only works and looks good on very few opponents, It has to be somebody smaller than you are. And for Mercedes, like physically small,
Yeah, they had to be shorter, or it's going to look weird because their feet are going to touch first.
It's just a bad move. I
don't know if I can take all this hate talk about Moné-a-mania, brother.
Boo this man!
There's three people I can think of. There's three people I can think of who don't put people over. Me, her, and John Cena. Brother.
You're wrong.
I gotta argue with your Mercedes Hogan analogy.
Okay, let's go.
Hulk Hogan built up people to beat, and then he buried them. Like, he made them look like an actual threat. And he also sold his ass off throughout the matches until he just magically got up and won. That's not what Mercedes is doing here. And this match itself was a very good match. But during this match, I realized the problem with Mercedes is just wrestling. There's no character during the match. Her promos are just catchphrases with no substance in between. There's no depth to the character at all, and she never looks like she's really in danger. She might look like kick out of something where it looks like she might lose for a second, but Hogan used to just get like bloodied and beat down for like 6 or 7 straight minutes before popping that comeback. Mercedes just goes out there and has wrestling matches, and that's all it is.
And this whole thing,
I got paid, brother. Did you not watch me in WCW, brother?
And this whole thing, like I said, we beat it's a dead horse. We beat, the whole, with her and Tony, but it just, and even Tony's like become a shell of herself, sort of, right? I don't understand like the whole Stoic thing. Heather jokes that, maybe Mercedes poisoned the food, and that was the whole thing. Okay, all right, but I just can't explain how uninterested I am in this now. Like, we all thought, okay, sure, yeah, it's going to be Mercedes, it's going to be Tony, that's going to be... I am so uninterested in this match. I just don't care. I really don't care. Because I know they're going to give the belt to... They're going to give their belt to Mercedes.
I still don't think so. I still think Tony's winning.
I hope to God. I just don't... Because I'm trying to think step ahead. What the hell do you do with Mercedes? Regardless, she has... Hogan has left the building, apparently. I don't know. He might.
He's going back, or he's got a costume change, which would be hilarious. Now,
oh, hi,
just,
Jamie.
Just regular Jamie.
What'd I miss?
This is a thing. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, what's up, Rob? But yeah, having Tony
replay
out there not on commentary was a big swing and a miss.
Oh, we're talking about the Mercedes Monday match? Oh, man, I hated her.
I just and my whole point is after All In, what the hell are they doing? Right? You've got all your other women are all on Collision. You have an all-star 8-way, or 4-way 8-person 4-on-4 match, right? You got Athena, who's now like regularing on AEW, she's over there. Tekla's over there. You have, Megan Bain. It's just.
What's Megan Bain doing right now?
That's what they're all doing. They're all just kind of like in this holding pattern while you placate this Mercedes Moné fantasy of Tony Khan's. I don't know. Britt Baker can't escape. No offense to Britt Baker, but yeah, she needs. It's best for all of us.
The reports of Britt Baker actually leaving, according to Fightful, are false. But I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire, gentlemen.
I mean, I'd imagine just like eventually her contract will be up and she'll be gone,
and no one will care.
Nope.
Just like no one cares that wig was really itchy.
I'm disappointed you weren't committed to the bit for the entire show.
I know you made it. You made it 20 minutes in, bro.
Hogan could come back, guys. I had to kick him out of this chair.
He was getting a little frisky, and when Hogan gets frisky, you better watch out. I mean, yeah,
he might say something that he might regret.
Nobody knows what Britt Baker's trying to do. Like, she has, like I told them, like, all we know of Britt Baker is that now that she's single, she's putting thirst trap pictures on the internet, and that's literally about it. Nobody knows. I don't care either.
Got a valid point, but I bring up Matt Hardy. I bring up John Cena.
Yeah, it's happened in wrestling plenty in the past. I don't know if there's a good spot for Britt Baker now or going forward.
Well, I mean, you guys, I think I can't remember. One of you hit the nail on the head a few weeks back. You're talking about Britt Baker. I think it was you, Austin. Is like that when she was the face of the women's division. Look, was that you, Jamie? Okay, I don't remember who it was.
That was me too. Yeah,
that was you. Okay, that was you. Okay. But no, it's like when she was doing all this stuff here, COVID and all that stuff, right? She created this fantastic character out of breaking her ankle, but then you didn't have Mercedes, you didn't have Tekla, you didn't have Toni Storm, you didn't have everybody else, right? And then all of a sudden, better wrestlers came in and quickly surpassed her. There you go.
You squeezed about all the juice you could have out of the Britt Baker character in a time when you needed someone to carry that division. She did just fine at that, but like there's just no one is interested in seeing her doing anything on AEW at this point in time.
Settle down, Squatch. Settle down. Okay, I think we're going a bit far there.
I don't know. I feel like that's like right on the money.
I mean, that's pretty on point. Let's be real. All right, so regardless, moving it forward here, Mercedes retains the TBS title, and so that's where we're at 10 days out of All In. Now, on the men's side of things, the show opens up with Hangman again coming out, which, hey, fine. And he does the thing that we all fully expected, which is suggest that this match become a Texas death match.
It had to be.
In Texas.
That was the only move.
I mean, we called the stipulation last week, didn't we?
We called it weeks
I'm not
ago.
Yeah.
A while ago.
We called that like the very next show.
Yeah.
By the way, there is a poll up if you care about Britt Baker. We'll have that up for a little bit until we get to our next segment.
If you're gonna have Kenny Omega and the Rainmaker Kadzuchka Okada facing each other on a show, and this is gonna main event, it's gotta be a Texas death match.
You can't. Yeah, there's going to be no like one-on-one wrestling match. It's going to go. Plus, like the most obvious things Hangman said, he knows everybody's going to come out, and it's going to be all this. So let's just make it. Give me Texas death.
Yeah,
and of course, Moxley, to his credit, I know everybody's been dogging on the whole Death Riders, this Deus included, but I still feel like they're doing such good stuff, to be honest with you, to be completely honest. And he comes out, Mox is Mox, and he just comes out and goes, no, you don't want this. And, he goes into this whole thing, right? And it just, I love it when he comes out and talks like this because it just showcases how damn good Mox really is, this whole professional wrestling thing. Okay, let's be honest, right?
Yeah, I really liked the promo. I thought it was a little weird directed at Hanger, though, because, like, Hanger has been more violent than Mox over the last 2 years or so.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter who it is. See, Mox is so, like, blind with his proclivities that it doesn't matter. Hangman, Swerve, it could be anybody.
Did you like the
right?
little jab he had in there about the best in the world?
I did like that.
That
was solid.
Was the best in the world. That's
I said it was a good promo.
So much more than that. It's like, dude,
played. Yeah, Mr. Clay. I love how the ball chant started. He just gives a look at the crowd and goes, all right, F y'all. Classic Mox. So,
Punk would have a bit of a week.
Indeed. And you got the Ops pulling out, so we're going to see the Ops, of course, whether they wrestle, which they'll probably defend at least somewhere. Maybe the pre-show, who knows? But you have the Ops kind of come out, to back up Hanger eventually, and then Hangman, gets the briefcase from Marina, and I really want him to shoo away with it, just for good measure, but gives it back to him and tells Mox, "You don't know the levels that I will go," and he gives a beautiful lariat to Marina Shafir, which okay, all right, that pull did not end. Is this still going? Okay, not what I expected. Let's just put it that way.
What, the bring back Hogan's actually tied?
It's actually tied with I was like, that's great. That's
I don't know if y'all want that smoke.
All right,
I know these guys don't.
So official, we're getting Texas death match, and yeah, like we should.
As if you needed another reason to buy this damn pay-per-view, though. Like, seriously. This is the moment.
Like you have this beautiful banana split or sundae or whatever you prefer, and we're just dumping more sprinkles on top. It's like there's no more room for sprinkles, but we got more sprinkles. God damn it, sprinkles!
So I do want to add this, and I kind of want you guys to weigh in before we move on. Did you guys see Tony Khan release the steady incline of viewership since the beginning of the year? Like,
I saw that.
Like 25 to 28% more and more. Like, they're absolutely crushing it. And
max viewership is through the roof too. Like HBO is loving AEW.
Yeah. So my thing on this, guys, do you think there is a direct correlation to just how damn good this Hanger story is and the viewership? Or do you think there's more than that?
No, I mean, this is part of it. I don't think it's just this. Like, the show in general has been great this year. Little slow in the main event scene with the Cope Death Rider stuff early on, but like that was wrapped up in February, and they've been just cooking on all cylinders since.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's just Hanger, but Hanger plays a giant role in it. I think that we talked about the Death Riders, and again, we know long in the tooth, but also it's very similar, the parallel to the Bloodline storyline, right? You know, how they keep going on with it, you know. And you Ospreay and Swerve, and you've got, even though whatever it is, but you know, Toni Storm doing her thing, Mercedes Moné, you got a bunch of other new women in there, you know, you've got Samoa Joe, you got a lot of, I think it's like the overall product has found this, and you've talked about this a lot, Jamie, found that really good rhythm, right? You know, they're firing on the cylinders, but Hangman is definitely front and center, I think, but not just him.
So Squatch answered the question with the question, and I want the first crack at this. So his question is, what was the most common criticism in previous years of AEW and Tony's booking? And 100% every single tribalistic mark out there was like, they don't know how to storytell. They don't know how to storytell. That's what they always said. And
all right, Heather. Touche.
Heather, you're pulling at my heartstrings here because you know I'm a Jerichoholic, but like I'm a recovering one now.
And she's not wrong either.
But I think wholeheartedly their storytelling before was very pay-per-view to pay-per-view, and they only did it one time, and that was that first Hanger going through his alcoholism into everything. And then, you know, that was their first foray into it, but they didn't know how to finish it. And that's what killed them. I really wholeheartedly believe all the momentum that they had died right there because they didn't know how to finish his story. Because he won it, and they're like, cool, what do we do next with it? No one knew what to do. I'm scared they're going to do the same thing here.
I'm not
worried about that at all.
The reason I say that is, I mean, I think you look at this, especially with the Death Rider thing, and yes, a lot of people complain it's been going on too long, but too long. That's not a complaint that's been registered on anything AEW since they began. So it's the long arc. I think they've got enough pieces around it too, Austin, right? Because you got Swerve, and you got you know, Ospreay, you got MJF, you have other things here that you can play with it, and you've set up inroads with all those things. We know the Swerve and Hanger story is the long-term gold of gold for AEW. You've got Ospreay in the mix with those two now. You've got enough kind of like, you know, pins put in the board for Hanger MJF when it comes time. So I don't think that they don't have the same problem as before where they have nothing to go with after this is done.
Yeah, and I don't think you need to go into something long-term after this is done. I mean, you can give Hanger a long run. Hanger's the perfect babyface champion to go pay-per-view to pay-per-view. New challenger, Hanger can tell a story with anybody. Like, Hanger's always interesting while he's out there. So I like the idea of a longer Hanger run where every pay-per-view, it's a new challenger. And you tell a new story each time, rinse and repeat for a while until it's time for someone else to take the belt. I think that works. As far as AEW getting better, it's not just the long-term storytelling. There's less random stuff on the show, which none of us are really that sad about. Here's a banger match for no other reason than people want to see it. But now it seems more often than not, even when they give you that, like tonight, you get Okada and Ibushi, there was still a storyline reason to be there. It seems like the show has been a lot more concise this year. It's focusing on a more select number of people, but telling more stories with those people. And so outside just the longer term stories, it's just narrowing things down in a way that makes you a little bit more. It makes it easier to follow week to week.
We're waiting.
Mercedes Moné, brother. That's all we know. It's her win streak. The belt collector.
For another 10 days, she's losing.
The belt collector, brother. I collect belts something myself. But in seriousness, Hanger's pretty good.
Hey, well, thank you for that. We do appreciate you joining in there. Now, tying into the main story, really, so the next two matches both had their little element of interconnectivity into the main story, okay? Squatch already hit it on one of them. I'm going to go there next, okay? So you had a homecoming of sorts for young Mr. Nicholas and Matthew Jackson. And they had several vignettes before that, kind of showing them, first of all, they used a company credit card to buy a limo and about $30,000 worth of sneakers inside of it. I'd love to have that credit card. I'm just putting that out there. And they're going around their own stomping grounds and doing all, these little like work vignettes and all the good stuff there, right? And then they come in to, I don't know, a pretty decent 6-man tag with them and Takeshita versus Bandito, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. Yes, please. I mean,
yeah, any day of the week, sign me up.
If you had to say, hey, the 300th episode of Dynamite, is there a match that kind of embodies what AEW does? Here you are.
Here's a little PWG for you.
Enjoy the spotness that is, yes, PWG.
Too many
100%.
moves for me, brother. I just like simple grappling.
Simple grappling, a couple leg drops, maybe a few elbows up there, Okay, all right, touche.
Definitely a leg drop, brother. Maybe a body slam.
It was good.
And the back rake. Can't forget a good back rake.
a little test of strength while you're at it.
My alter ego brother said this was amazing, but I don't believe that.
I miss the test of strength. That's not. When's the last time you guys saw one of those? Like 91? I don't know.
Not that long ago.
I mean, I did one at Triple L like 3 weeks ago. It happens on the indies quite a bit.
Well, the indies.
Not as much as it used to. There was a weird year or two where like every crowd would chant test of strength all the time at the beginning of matches. That has waned a bit, fortunately, because I got a little annoying after a while. But it still pops up on the indies quite often.
Yeah.
Got you, brother.
I love Takeshita and the Young Bucks. I mean, with Young Bucks, they can pair with anybody and make it look amazing. We forget how good Roderick and Kyle are as wrestlers at times. Let's be honest, because of the whole Paragon terrible name thing and all this stuff. But yeah, it's just everybody in this match was well worth it. The Bucks and Takeshita do get the victory, of course, which then brings out. This is one of two heroes versus villains matches. A little too on the nose? Or, I mean, it's the whole, tie-in with Superman promo they're doing, but...
It's less on the nose than CM Punk laying on top of the Slim Jim table for 15 minutes while John Cena cuts a promo on him.
There is that. We're talking more about that.
There's only one thing that AEW's done better with a movie or a game, brother, and that was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match, brother.
Oh, that was so good.
No. I'm going to mute you both now.
That was my WrestleMania.
That was a moment, brother.
I hate it here.
Dare I say.
We know you saw that live. Well, you saw part of that live. 2/3 of that match was backstage. You saw it like we did on a fucking monitor. Exactly, Heather. All right. Out comes Swerve and Ospreay. They want an answer. They haven't got an answer. They challenged the Bucks to a match at All In, and they want them to put their EVP, titles on the line. They want to put it on the line, and
It's
they
a
don't
bold
want.
strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
And they don't want it for themselves. No, they want to give it to the people, which are just dissolve it, whatever. Because one man runs this company, Tony Khan, right? And to their credit, the Bucks are like, yeah, no, what's in it for us? So the stipulation that Ospreay came up with and Swerve eventually agreed to was, if they lose, neither of them can challenge for the AEW title for 1 year. Good stipulation, bad stipulation. What do you think?
Great stipulation. Because it makes you believe they could lose. Because that does clear both of them from Hanger for at least a year.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to. I still think the Bucks are losing this match, but it's a good stipulation because now, like, there's stakes either way.
Well, but there had to be stakes there, Hogue, right? There had to be some stakes on there.
Brother, the Bucks are winning this. I'm calling it now, brother. Calling it now. Somebody might call me a Mark Stradamus.
No.
That's happening, brother. Like, it's happening. Because it's perfect. Have Hanger not have to mess with Swerve for 1 calendar year, brother. Come on now. It writes itself. I would have made the same thing.
I actually really liked it, and I was 1,000% on board with the no way the Bucks are winning this match thing. But now I'm kind of like, I like that because again we talk about the top of the card, right? And you've got as well Okada, Omega. You got a lot of bodies up in there, right? How do you clear some of that out? Well, this is actually a really great way for a little bit of time to clear some of that out, right? I don't know. I still think it's a better story to have the Bucks go through like Popperville and lose their EVP status, right?
It's time because I think along with that is a revitalization of the tag team division, which is on life support right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, brother. I will say this. I don't know if you knew this, but this is 100% fact. Hulk Hogan only tells facts. I trained the Young Bucks, everything they know. They're going to bury the talent. They got to put themselves over, of course. That's right, brother.
Well, speaking of tag, you go immediately after that into tag match, the other heroes versus villains match of the night. Swerve and Ospreay versus Reddick and Beast Mortos. Flippy Spinny Fun Part 2. It was good times. I'm getting there.
Yes,
I'm getting there, Squatch. We're jumping around.
Flippy Spinny Fun advertised, Flippy Spinny Fun delivered.
Yeah. I like seeing Drillisico too, man. He's so good.
Yeah.
All right. So
It reminded me of my movie Suburban Commando.
Not Mr. Nanny.
That's such a bad movie. Oh my God. That was such a bad movie. I'm trying to think, what's a good Hulk Hogan movie?
Trick question, or is it what?
He's a cameo in Muppets from Space, and that was a just fine movie.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that like Hogan led in
Good.
that was particularly good.
Squatch said Lucha Styles grew on him because of TK. I mean, this is what I mean, Hogan could probably, if Jamie could come back in. Jamie and I, we got to witness this when we were children too. We were adolescents at the time, but old school WCW Nitro always had that middle third that was the talent guy do, everybody who was basically not in Bischoff's circle. You guys do whatever you want, right? So they had just a shit ton of like lucha matches and cruiserweights and stuff, and yeah, that's how I fell in love with lucha, and yeah, I think it's great. Plus, I mean, with the pairing with CMLL, yeah, have more lucha on TV, right?
Yeah, and I love that AEW plenty often it's not just the luchas wrestling other luchas. Like they mix it up with everybody. Because back in the day, like Nitro, you got a lot of awesome lucha, but it was mostly just luchas wrestling the luchas or the occasional Malenko or Jericho in there.
Yeah.
Now you get luchas against everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it has stakes to it, so I'm all for it. So a little bit earlier, you did have the Casino Gauntlet qualifier. This was to determine who the number 2 person entrant would be. So number 1 was determined last week with a 4-way match. Mark Briscoe won that. You had MJF, AR Fox, Anthony Bowens, and Brody King vying for spot number 2. And this is probably my favorite match I saw tonight. Okay? Not calling it the match of the night, but it's my favorite match. It just, I think it had a little bit of everything in it. Especially with, yes, Pickles has indeed entered the chat. They will be uncorked here momentarily. MJF going on commentary right at the start of the match, by far my favorite, after he offered to bribe Brody King, and that failed miserably. And then he was on commentary for the first 5 minutes of the match. Yes. More of that.
Yeah, this match was fun. My only issue with the match was I feel like Bowens and AR Fox need to be an either or, and you need to replace one of them with someone that's like a little higher up the card. Because this is for a guaranteed slot, because the match could end in 90 seconds, and if you're after number 2, you don't even get to go out. I would have liked to see one more bigger name, probably replacing AR Fox, because like AR Fox just out there do cool moves and lay down for people, which is great. It's still entertaining. I would like to see him replaced with someone a little bit higher up on the card. But the match itself was absolute flames.
Okay.
And I need MJF to do the leg trap on the Salt of the Earth every time now, because it makes it look like such a better finish with that leg locked in than just the Fujiwara armbar.
I could not agree more. Like, I was so glad the Heat Seeker didn't happen, and I saw that. I'm like, that looks so much better.
Oh, so good.
I don't know what it was. It just looked so more devastating. I was in.
Yeah. It's the fantastic Heat Seeker. I mean, yeah, and you know, you get at it, you know, these 2 matches, you got 8 people. There's going to be more than 8 people in this match, Austin. These aren't the only 8 people they're going to be, right? All the other gauntlets have gone like 11, 12, or 13-ish, you know, somewhere in there. So,
yeah, there's going to be at least the 8 we've seen so far are not going to be the only people in this match. Like, you're going to have some bigger names in there. I'm 50-50 on if we're going to see a Darby return during the Casino Gauntlet, or if we're going to see a Darby return during the main. But we're getting a Darby return for sure.
I would bet more likely during the main.
That would make more sense.
He'll be the Karl Malone coming out.
The RoboCop coming to save Sting.
Oh my God.
That's like, if Darby's coming out during the main, you got to send Sting with him. You just have to. Not even for any storyline reasons. Sting should still show up to kick ass and even the odds at the end of this.
Oh my God. RoboCop saving Sting. That was a moment in time.
Sting was in town this weekend. Did you guys know that?
No.
I saw that. And Kevin Nash and the Steiners, like, there was some anime/pro wrestling convention. I think it was just an anime convention with pro wrestling people signing, but
oh yeah,
there were a lot of wrestlers in KC last weekend.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, but I remember that was going on. I remember hearing about that because they made like 4 stops, and one of them was Kansas City, and I remember, you know, like a lot of people too, like Cora Jade was there, and you know, tons of people were there apparently.
Soraya was there.
Oh yeah. Oh, how was Crypticon, by the way?
It was great, actually. We got to see the Terrifier, David Allen Thornton or whatever. he was actually all up in gear, like in makeup, because he's getting ready to do some like thing. He's walked right by us, and he looked right over at Jessica and just did the little thing. I'm like, oh Jesus, like that was so great. Like he's out for everything. I met Bill Mosley, who was one of the he was Otis from Devil's Rejects. So I have 2 out of the 3 Devil's Rejects signatures now. I got the hardest one to get, Sid Haig, because can't get that anymore.
Nope.
But no, it was great. One of the guys like I follow on TikTok, Douglas Tate, who is played both Michael Myers and Jason, was there, and we talked about TikTok and whatnot. And then my daughter got a signature from this guy, Lachlan Monroe, and you're like, okay, who's that? So you've all seen Scary Movie, right? The movie Scary Movie, like with the Wayans brothers.
Oh yeah. That's the picture you posted. Yeah, I never know the guy's name.
He's the white dude who had the tiny dick or the tiny pickle. You know, it's like this is common for a long. That guy. And he's been in a ton of. He's like one of those.
He's in like everything. Right? We've seen him. He's been in like everything. Right?
Dude, in the 2000s, he crushed it. He was in so many things. My daughter knew him from Riverdale. I'm like, I've never seen that. But. No, he was absolutely amazing, and he was a delight. And then there was a couple guys from Police Academy there, and and Revenge of the Nerds. I hate to say it, like the Asian guy from Revenge of the Nerds, like because back in the stereotype, have one, right?
Yeah,
I did no clue that guy was the voice of Leonardo in the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was like, what? And he did the voice. Like, holy shit! Like I flipped out, totally flipped out. It was awesome.
Like the 92, 91?
Yeah. Like,
oh, dude. This was so good.
He did that whole thing. I flipped. I'm like, oh,
amazing.
You made my childhood. So cool. It was awesome. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
You're not in the minority, Squatch, about that. Jamie has very choice words about Darby Allin being anywhere near that world title. 100%. But he's still a big draw for the company. He's going to make an appearance at the biggest show of the year somewhere. Whether
he'll get a run at some point in time. I don't think it'll be a long run, but he'll get a run with it.
Yeah.
He will.
Yeah, which is fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Just can't be long.
So MJF wins the match, right? Which we all saw coming. And then afterwards, out confronts Mark Briscoe, wearing his new T-shirt that MJF has a tiny kosher pickle. The pickle, like Heather said, the pickle has entered the chat, and oh my God, it's so good. If you just want to succeed selling merchandise, you just follow around Mark Briscoe and then just, put his shit on shirts continuously, right? That's all you do. That's all you have to do. This man is, so good. So they chat a little bit. So next week they're going to have a little talk in the ring together. Okay.
I think it's hilarious that MJF and Mark Briscoe have more story development leading into a match where they're not even the only guys in the match than Mercedes Moné and Tony Storm.
Yeah.
But you don't need anything for them, though. That's the thing. Like, alter ego aside, I will defend that you don't even need to build that up because you already know what you're getting.
No, you don't, and that's and a little bit that's kind of the problem, It's like yeah, it just okay, and anything you do to try to build it up's like why we know
like. But okay, so if you're not going to do really anything to build it up, have them alternating weeks having singles matches, trying to one up each other with victories leading up to it. Like, do something interesting.
I'm good with that.
Not just having them sitting in front of a steak dinner for 4 weeks in a row watching the other one wrestle with little else. Why are we doing that?
You're trying to create animosity where you don't need animosity. It's 1 versus 1A. Yeah, we get it. You don't need anything else.
And if you're gonna try harder and actually create animosity. If not, go another route. That either's fine. In between is where we're at, and that's the problem.
I mean, it's kind of like, and Jamie's gonna shit his pants. I'm making this reference, but it's the truth, right? It's like when you advertise a playoff match between or a game between the Chiefs and the Bills, right? You don't need to do anything else. You're like, oh yeah, Chiefs Bills, okay. We're
That's a
watching
Sunday night
it.
game.
We're
That's
turning it
primetime
on.
game.
Doesn't matter. You're going to watch that. It's going to be fantastic.
You know who's going to win.
The Chiefs will win. Yes, thank you, Jamie. If it's during the playoffs, the regular season is 50.
Yeah, regular season it don't matter.
So anyway, but it's the same analogy. And then as they're leaving, out comes Jet Speed to confront the Hurt Syndicate, and they just get beat up continuously, which at first I was like, oh, they're standing up. They're going to accept the... No, they just keep going back to beat them up more and more and more. It's the old Simpsons meme, you know? Stop killing him. He's already dead.
Like after a while, it's like the Peter Griffin bit where he just holds his leg going, ah.
Right?
I get what they were trying to do here,
Yeah,
but it wasn't going to work. They were trying to get heat on the Hurt Syndicate and get you behind Jet.
Oh, nope. We froze. 53 minutes. All right. Damn it. How is that possible? All right. We're back here.
Yeah.
We're back. As I was saying.
I have no idea. I went to a better computer operating system, and my stream has gotten worse. I don't understand.
So they're trying to put heat on the Hurt Syndicate, but no one wants to boo the Hurt Syndicate because they're super rad. And so this just became awkwardly long for no real reason.
Yeah. I mean,
it was just painful to watch.
Well, I mean, so they get beat up and then we're still standing. Okay, cool. Well, they got to beat up one more time. Okay, all right, fine. And they get up again. Great, accept it. Okay, you guys got gusto. We accept your challenge. No, they go beat him up twice more after that. Twice. Why?
And MJF and MVP are like, no, let's just go to the back. Let's just go to the back. Like, at that point, why stop beating him up? Just go beat him up longer. Like, it was just a swing and a miss, which happens sometimes.
I mean, it's like Georgia and Alabama in the SEC. Like, they just beat up on everybody for no reason. No offense to Mizzou. I'm not saying that, but you know.
Oh, no, they absolutely do. They have like 85 5 stars.
Not throwing shade for once at MU.
No, it's legit.
I'm just throwing shade at everybody because they just keep coming back and just beat the shit out of them, no matter what, right? Like that's the same thing that we're seeing here. It's just so dumb.
It was the Yankees from the 2000s. Same thing.
Positive development out of this. I am hyped for Shelton versus Kevin Knight on Collision.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm good with all four of these people being in matches with each other of any amount. But you're just whatever.
Whatever.
Just suspend disbelief. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it really doesn't matter because there's one thing that you end the 300th episode of AEW Dynamite with. And if I would have told you, Jamie, 300 weeks ago, roughly, that, hey, this new show that these guys are starting up here, you know, that the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes and, Kenny Omega, they're going to have on there to end the show at some point in time, they're going to have Kadzuchka Okada and Kota Ibushi one-on-one. You would, A, splooge in your pants, and B, tell me to shut the fuck up.
And I've called you a liar.
Yep. No,
but here we are.
Free American TV, Kota Ibushi, Kadzuchka Okada. Life is good.
I mean, yeah, on your free Wednesday night TV, you got a Tiger Driver off the top rope.
Yes, dude.
Yes. Kota Ibushi looks so much better.
Heart was just beating so hard for that match.
I know. I mean, Ibushi looks so much better than his first run around in AEW. I mean, so much better. He's healthy.
Looks healthy.
He's on point. This is the best that Okada's looked in years. I mean, yeah, he is definitely clicking on all cylinders too. But my God,
I will say this: Okada's been kind of rudderless, for a little bit in AEW. To be fair, like I'll just be honest, I love Okada, but he's been rudderless, right?
yeah.
With this march to him and Omega, and with Don Callis, gave him legs, and he's breathing again, and he is back to being the true best bout machine.
Oh.
And I mean, this match tells the story. I'm Okada forever, as you all know, and good gracious, yes, please.
Yeah, like I think Okada being rudderless was more of a byproduct of Kenny Omega being gone for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see a thing where they didn't want him to just be losing in stories with people.
Yeah.
So they just kind of put him in a holding pattern until Kenny got back, which is why I think Kenny's winning this match at All In. But either way, this match was phenomenal. As we talked about, I think it was just last week, I was not particularly familiar with Ibushi's game, but he looked phenomenal tonight. And this is like one of the most AEW ass matches you could throw out there for the main event of your 300 Dynamite. Like this was for the sickos.
Yeah. I mean, Tiger Dryer off the top rope. Hello. Like Jamie said, bro. And lariats aplenty. I mean, it's just, if you weren't sure if you didn't like, if you weren't sure if you would like, Japanese, wrestling or not, right? Strong style. This definitely a major decision for you. I don't know about an Ibushi heel turn, man. I don't know, Squatch. I don't think you need it. I think because the thing is, and you put in there Ibushi versus Takeshita. I agree. Yes, please. Twice on Sunday, maybe. Let's go. The thought and the long story very much appears to be like Jamie suggested for months now that you're going to turn Takeshita face, right? I'm good with that. I don't think you need to turn Ibushi heel in the process too, though, right? Because I don't know if anybody's familiar with Ibushi, but he is not what we call in America a talker.
Hey, if you need a manager, I know a guy.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, I don't think you need to turn Ibushi heel anytime soon, if ever. I think him being associated with Kenny Omega helps the stories you can tell with Kenny Omega. So it's not just him wrestling a various member of the Don Callis family every week, as he's been doing for most of the last couple of years, aside from when he was out sick. I do like the idea of, like I said, post All In. Hopefully, Bucks lose their EVPs. We start revitalizing the tag division. Maybe later in the year, after Kenny drops that belt to Takeshita, like I said a couple weeks ago, maybe we get Golden Lovers and Bucks for the tag titles. I'd be super down for that. Like, there's a lot you can do with them together that you haven't even tapped to yet.
Let me throw something out at you. Just we're gonna. Jamie's already he's got 85 scenarios cocked and loaded, but I want to throw one out there before he goes full on blowing up Fancy Booking Island. Imagine this. So we talked about the Bucks. I'm going to continue on with this idea about the Bucks going downtrodden ways, right? I like that. I think it's fantastic, right? What if they get to the point where they start losing just left and right, right? And they're even more downtrodden. Like they don't even have they've lost all their hope, their energy, their spring. So Kenny eventually loses that title, and him and Ibushi are doing things. And the Bucks come to Kenny Omega and say, we need to get our mojo back. Give us a match with us versus you and Kota. Right? and Kenny won't agree to it because the Bucks are now, they're the bum on the street in Trading Places, right? No, get away from me, right? But eventually they get around to it, and by Revolution, something like that, they finally crack it and they agree, and you get Bucks versus Golden Lovers like that. That's my pitch for how to tell that story.
You're going to get to that match at some point in time. It's just a matter of when and how.
Oh, that match is not happening. No, Jamie.
So I want to take you guys on a movie reference here, and a few of you will get this, a few of you won't, and for those who don't get it, suck it. I think I love your scenario of the Bucks spiraling out of control. It makes me think of one movie and one movie alone, which they reprise that role later in another Eddie Murphy movie, and that is one of Randolph and Mortimer Duke in Trading Places. Now, I absolutely love that movie. It is arguably my favorite Eddie Murphy movie of all time.
So good.
Yeah. Hot take, it's that and The Golden Child for me. Not even lying. But they lost everything at the end, and they became homeless and all this. And next thing you know, here comes Joffrey Joffer's son, Akeem, and gives him just a roll of money and coming to America, and then back in business, baby.
Mortimer, we're back.
Yes. Randolph, I'm not talking to you. But I personally believe I like your scenario. I think it's going to come from somebody completely unexpected. I don't think it's going to be Kenny.
Okay.
Hanger.
Ooh. Okay.
I mean, we will at some point long down the road, we will get the entire elite back together. That's another, it's not a matter of if, it's when and how.
Well,
we're probably a very long way off from that.
We know we will, and I'm good with it when we eventually get there, which is because that's like one of those, you can always circle back to it. We know we're going to get the Bucks and FTR at least a few more times in something ridiculously unbelievable, right? Because we have to.
Everybody needs to go watch Trading Places. Absolutely great.
I totally made a Trading Places reference too when I was earlier on. So
I know. I was proud of you.
I was thinking more.
Okay, hold on. Austin, have you watched Trading Places?
Not in a very long time.
Okay.
I'll have to give it a rewatch sometime soon. Not since I was a kid.
I was thinking more of Dan Aykroyd. I was thinking more like
at all.
I was thinking more in the dumps. My in the dumps in my head was more Dan Aykroyd as the salmon stealing Santa. That's where I was coming from. Okay.
He's got drugs.
$1. I still to this day do the Merry New Year an incessant amount of times. All right. Well, trip down family lane. Of course, you got Kenny Omega makes his return out to save Ibushi from the Don Callis family. So, yeah, 10 days away from All In, boys.
There's 5 guys in that ring, right? When there 5 guys from the Don Callis family in that ring?
There was.
It was Rocky, Lance Archer,
Trent.
Trent ran in at the end and took the finisher move.
Well, you had Okada.
You had Okada. You had Don Callis.
Takeshita? Was he there?
No, Kota.
I don't think was Mark Davis there. Like he just kind of blends in. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
Kyle
4.
Kyle
there's
wasn't
4
out there.
big dudes in there. 4 big dudes, and Kenny they all vanish as soon as Kenny Omega hits.
Well, I mean, Lance was trying to get in, to his credit.
He just stayed. When he comes in, just.
It doesn't matter how much backup you have. If a babyface runs out with a weapon, you have to run away.
Yes. Don't you kill my immersion over here, Jamie. Okay?
Sorry, I was going down Austin's avenue of logic.
No.
That is a logic gap. I can't address anymore because it's always going to happen. It's just a trope at this point. You got to just deal with it. I did like Lance Archer was dressed like a high school teacher when it's Spirit Week and they're doing like a 2000s theme or something like that. Like he looked like he was in costume. He looked like he was on his way to a 5-finger death punch concert.
Yes, yeah.
He was about to crack a white monster and go get rowdy with the boys.
He had his Ed Hardy shirt on, man. He was good. He was good to go.
Yeah. Hey, who's got the White Claws, bro?
Somebody at work asked me because they, I let it be known, my proclivities to music and I love a metal and stuff. And some guy was asking me, "Hey, what is that one 5-finger death punch song?" That and I was like, "I don't, nope, no, that doesn't count." You like nope, not them. If you do like 5-finger death punch, welcome in, subscribe. Jay White's not. We don't know when he's going to be healthy, Heather. I'm with you though. I hope when he gets
I'd love
healthy,
to see Jay White back.
I hope he gets healthy because there's a spot for him in all of this. To be completely honest, right? He fits in with everybody we just mentioned. All right, 10 days away from All In. Next week's the go home show, so we'll have a lot more about that. Well, 2/3 of us will have a lot more about that. One of us is going to be the freaking Caribbean.
Really close to South America, actually.
Yeah, you will. Yeah. All right. There was more than just AEW this past week. There was a little show in, out in the Middle East. Is it the best timing for a show in Saudi Arabia? No. Is it ever a good time for a show in Saudi Arabia, though? Probably not.
Probably not.
Saudi's fairly safe. I live there.
I mean, for the most part.
Granted, it was 1981, but I lived there.
just briefly. Before we get into that, I would like to, because there's lots of that happening in Saudi Arabia we'll talk about here, but I'd like to get I'd like to expand my horizons a little bit, Jamie, before we get in. What about you? Could you use a little knowledge?
Is it about blood money?
It's not about blood money. Not this week, anyway. Not this week.
Stay tuned.
This is a nice transition from talking AEW and going into modern WWE. Because as I am one to do from time to time, I have been delving into some older pro wrestling, and not even super old at this point. Maybe, depending on how old you are and how old you feel. But I've been recently spending quite a bit of time on the WWE Vault YouTube channel, which, if you're not familiar, is exquisite. For this entire week, they have just been doing live New Generation watch-alongs, where it's not just the televised stuff, but they've got house show matches and stuff like that too. Like this afternoon, there was a random tag match from '96 house show, and it was HBK and Diesel against Bret Hart and The Undertaker. So they do really cool stuff on there. The New Generation stuff is always near and dear to my heart, so I've enjoyed that thoroughly. But that's not the only thing I watched on the Vault this week. And the more interesting one to discuss was after last night's NXT wrapped up. The wife and I watched the back half of it. We were like, you know what? We want to go back and watch some old NXT. We're going to go back to the first episode of NXT.
Ooh.
And we watched the first couple, and we'll probably continue to go from there. One, I forgot just how good of a pro wrestling TV show the initial NXT run was.
You're talking
Everyone remembers
NXT,
Black and Gold there.
Not Nexus, right? Like post Nexus.
So this was concurrent with Nexus, more or less.
Okay, gotcha.
But this is before Black and Gold really got hot, and you started getting the Kevin Owens and the Finn Balor's, and it just became a super indie, which was rad in its own right. This is the original NXT when it first became a show. It went from the game show to we're going to call it developmental, and it's going to be a 1-hour Hulu show we'll show every week. I think it moved to the network eventually, but it is predominantly wrestling. You have clearly established top guys beating clearly established undercard guys. Everyone's got a character. And I think my favorite thing they do that you don't see much of anymore is someone will win a match, and by the time they get to the ramp, someone's waiting there with a microphone to cut a quick promo, give them a quick interview. I miss that in pro wrestling. I'd like to see more of that going forward.
Yeah.
But formatting aside, this first NXT show card, I'm going off memory. I don't have it in front of me pulled up right now.
You're fine.
But the best part of it is you get a debuting Ascension, and they are squashing Juice Robinson and Tyler Breeze. So if you go back and watch the early NXTs, it is a weird time machine of like all these people more or less are still known, but some of the people that are getting pushed and some of the people that are getting squashed. You have Jason Jordan get squashed by Jinder Mahal in the second episode, which is fantastic. You have debuting Leo Kruger, who would go on to become Adam Rose, squashing Aiden English, who does not have a gimmick yet. Like, you get a lot of people that don't have gimmicks. The main event of the first one is Tyson Kidd versus Michael McGillicuddy. And it's hilarious because it's the first episode, and they've been doing NXT house shows for a while, but like this is the first TV.
Right.
They make their entrances. Michael McGillicuddy is clearly the heel here, but they're starting USA chants at Tyson Kidd because he's Canadian. And then within like 2 minutes, Tyson Kidd does something really cool. Michael McGillicuddy takes a powder to the floor, and they start cheering Tyson Kidd. Like, it was very old school for the live crowd wrestling while still being a condensed TV show. But in the span of 2 weeks, you get debuts from Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, who's still headbanging when he runs out there, Cesaro, unfortunately the Ascension, but you also get Johnny Curtis, aka Fandango, taking on EC3, who was Derek Bateman at the time, in a pretty fun little match. They wrestle in week 2. In week 1, they have a weird backstage segment where Derek Bateman walks into the bathroom and Johnny Curtis is just standing there, and they cut a really awkward promo, but it's like the funny kind of awkward where it's intentional and not just like bad. Contrasting that with the current NXT, I wish they would go back to that. Like, that was such a good 1-hour TV show. If you haven't seen it in a while, just fire up YouTube. It's all for free on there, and go watch NXT from the beginning, because it is just a top tier pro wrestling program.
Oh my God. Blast from the, I mean, it was very interesting too. You talk about that because I forgot that. Yeah. The original NXT was, it took just random shots on people. Like, that's pre EC3 and Impact Wrestling.
Yeah. This is probably 2013, give or take.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's worth a watch if you haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's a fantastic stash of knowledge. So, did you guys watch, I don't even remember what it's called. What is the Saudi? What is it called?
It was Night of Champions.
Night of Champions.
I saw some of it.
I saw some highlights. I heard what happened. I mean, CM Punk came out to Thugonomics. Okay.
Oh, that was on Friday.
Was that on Friday? I get them.
That was on SmackDown.
Well, it's weird because it's like literally like 6 hours later than Night of Champions happened. So it's like,
yeah, like it was. If you like WWE, I'm sure you enjoyed it. The main event had a dozen run-ins, and
It was over to death.
and a point that made no sense for any of the characters involved. You had, after the run-ins, CM Punk and John Cena shaking hands. CM Punk, Mr. I explicitly said, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. I'm only focused on winning a title. And John Cena, the guy that said, I'm clearly a bad guy now, and I'm going to take the title and leave. Just because some other people got involved, they decided to shake hands. And of course, John Cena kicked him in the nuts, and you got to the finish from there. But like I said, if you enjoy WWE, I'm sure it was a very nice time for you.
I'm starting to believe more and more that John Cena is going to leave with that title.
No.
For some odd reason, I feel like he is going to go out on top.
do you think he's going to abscond with it and they'll replace it with a different title, like the Winged Eagle or something?
Maybe.
I can see him doing that.
I think Cody Rhodes is just going to beat him at SummerSlam. He'll be right back to where we were at WrestleMania, and nothing will have mattered because that's how WWE writes their shows.
I mean,
or we're going to get a Seth Rollins cash in on Cena. One or the other.
Seth Rollins is cashing in on one of them, but I'd rather see it on Cena.
It has to be on Cena because you've spent the last ever since you debuted the World Heavyweight Championship. You have been explicitly telling your audience this is the lesser title. This is the one no one cares about. He can't cash in on that one. Goldberg is challenging for it in 10 days to go up against Mox and Hanger in a death match. Goldberg.
Yeah. Counter programming. I mean, talk about swinging and miss on counter programming.
You can watch a 27-minute marathon hardcore match that'll probably go down in the annals of history as one of the best death matches ever televised on TV. Or you can watch a 3-minute match with Gunther.
Your choice.
Your choice.
Yes. Not just that death match, but also Okada and Omega.
Which you don't need to say anything else.
Or you can watch Goldberg struggle to hit a jackhammer.
Yeah, I mean, you can watch Goldberg take longer to get to the ring than he does actually wrestling, or you can watch Young Bucks Swerve and Ospreay just defy gravity for about 25 minutes.
The Goldberg thing just blows my mind because Goldberg was exclusively a big deal in 1998.
I loved Goldberg. Like we have talked about this so much. You don't even want to bring it up anymore, hardly. But that moment was one of the greatest moments in wrestling history. Let's be honest, right? It was the biggest freaking deal at the time in '98.
It's not like even in later WCW, Goldberg had lost his shine. His WWE run in 2003, no one gave a shit. The several times he's come back since then, no one gave a shit. Why are we doing Goldberg again?
I mean, it's like any legend. You want to do the chant, and you want to do the initial pop. And that's all you really want. That's literally it.
If Goldberg wanted to make a payday in a way that would be entertaining and a fun way to go out, come over to AEW and just squash Max Caster in one of his open challenges. Hit your screen jackhammer, take your victory lap, and ride off into the sunset.
I'd much rather have Hacksaw Jim Duggan come out and do that.
I would rather see Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Gunther at Saturday night's main event. Not that I'm going to watch because AEW's on, but I would be more interested in that.
Well, technically, AEW's on earlier, although all three of us aren't going to be able to watch it live because we have other things happening.
It's like the first hour live, but then, we got to head over and do some pro wrestling. Yeah. And then get back home and watch the rest of the show.
Yeah, not so much. I'm going to have to watch the whole thing on repeat.
I'm probably going to watch it on my phone in the locker room and then, rewatch it when I get home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at softball. Hopefully we have only morning games, so then I'll get done around 1 or 2.
So Jimmy might be able to catch in.
Then I was actually gonna talk to the wife and head on out to Wichita.
Oh, that's right.
Hell yeah! It's all in will be over by the time the show actually starts. So I'll probably watch it on my phone in the locker room live because I gotta see that live.
But don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen, because we are definitely going to have picks. We're going to have trash talk. We will have, hopefully, a new champion.
Reigning, defending.
We will find out. So
I'll marry that belt one day.
Will you be able? Yeah. When do you get back from Antigua, Jamie?
I get back Saturday morning at 1 a.m.
Okay. Will you have internet access on your way back or while you're down there?
I hope so.
Okay, all right. So. Yeah, because with it being a day show, we have to get our picks in ahead of time, and I'm like, regardless, we will have picks. We will have more updates next week. We will still have a show. Austin and I will be here. We may try and find a fill-in. Who knows, right? Or it might just be the two of us shooting the crap. We don't know.
Calling from the bullpen.
Yeah, we know some peoples. We got some stuff, things lined up. But we do have Go Home for All In next week, and then tons of stuff happening. I mean, Supercard Ring of Honor is happening. They're doing Wrestle Dream? No, Wrestle Fest, right? Wrestle Fest? What are they calling it?
Starcast?
Starcast? Yeah, Starcast. There we go. They're doing Starcast then around All In. It's a fantastic week to go down to Dallas, other than the heat, of course. But, you know, if you like wrestling.
It's never a good time to go to
year
Dallas.
All In, we should all try to do Starcast. Like, get in on the podcast.
We should.
Whatever.
I wanted to try and go this year, but somebody had to book a vacation with his wife.
Well,
this is for 19 months, bro. I've had that.
It's going to be back in London next year, so I'll be skipping that Starcast for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really? Are you sure it's going to be in London next year?
Do we know?
Tony Khan confirmed it. Did you not see that story? He said it would have been there this year, but Coldplay had booked the venue like years in advance.
Fuck you, Coldplay.
Who's still
I like
to
the
Coldplay
idea of him
2025?
moving. I like the idea of him moving this around. Whatever.
Yeah, like, hey, I know a great place to have it next year. Philadelphia.
That would be great. That would be fantastic.
Fantastic. That'd be fantastic.
We can only hope.
Fantastic.
We can only hope.
Well, regardless, we will have plenty more to come here. So tune in next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Again, if this is your first time here, we do welcome you in. Thank you for joining. Thank you for staying with us. I swear to God, I'm going to figure out this stupid like Discord freezing thing at some point in time. But hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell icon to know when we go live. Support your local wrestlers. We got local wrestling coming up here soon. CSW. You got, Fountain City Pro coming up, in the next several weeks here. Triple L out in Denver, and you got Heartland Championship Wrestling down Wichita area as well. And wherever you are, follow your local wrestling. That is the heartbeat of this industry. Words are tough. We will be back next week, though. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Total Spotfest, I got 5 words for you.
We're both going.
Moneo Mania, running wild on you.
That was 6.
Monet Mania is 1 word.
Hyphenated.
Agree, disagree. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Later.